What if I told you that somewhere beneath the jungles, deserts, and oceans of our world, entire cities lie buried, forgotten by time, erased from maps, and steeped in mystery? These aren't just myths whispered in bedtime stories. These are real places, places that once bustled with life and then vanished. From empires swallowed by the sea to cities built on gold. Today we'll uncover 5 of history's most fascinating lost cities, where they were, what might have happened to them, and why they still haunt our imaginations. Stick around. You might just start to wonder what else lies hidden beneath our feet. The Lost City of Z. Let's begin with one of the most legendary tales of all, the Lost City of Z. In the early 20th century, British explorer Percy Fawcett believed there was an ancient, advanced city hidden deep in the Amazon rainforest, older than any known South American civilization. Fawcett called it Z, a lost city of immense beauty and sophistication, with architecture rivaling ancient Greece. In 1925, he disappeared while searching for it, gone, without a trace. Imagine setting out into the jungle with nothing but a compass, a few maps, and blind faith. No GPS, no radio, just the whispers of an ancient city and the belief that it would change history. Fawcett wasn't alone. Dozens of others would follow in his footsteps, many never returning. But here's the twist. Some modern archaeologists now believe he might have been right. Recent discoveries like Cahokia, a site with roads, canals, and dwellings deep in the Amazon, suggest a once thriving civilization did exist there. Is Z still out there, waiting to be uncovered? Or did the jungle take its secrets to the grave? Heracleion, Egypt's sunken city. Next, let's head beneath the waves to a city that quite literally sank into legend. Heracleion, also known as Thonis, was once a bustling Egyptian port city at the mouth of the Nile. It was the gateway to Egypt before Alexandria even existed. And then, around the 2nd century BC, it disappeared beneath the sea. For centuries, people thought Heracleion was a myth. Even ancient texts barely mentioned it. But in 2000, underwater archaeologist Frank Gaudio made an astonishing discovery off the coast of modern-day Alexandria. There was massive statues, temple ruins, gold coins, and everyday items, all preserved underwater. Think of it like discovering a real-life Atlantis, just a few meters below the surface. One moment, it was the heart of trade and religion, and the next, it was gone, likely due to a combination of earthquakes and liquefaction. It makes you wonder how many other cities lie hidden, not in the clouds or the mountains, but right beneath the tides. Iram of the Pillars, the Atlantis of the sands. Now, let's take a trip to the Arabian desert, where an entire city supposedly vanished beneath the sand. The Quran refers to it as Iram dat Alimad, Iram of the Pillars, a city so decadent, so defiant, that it drew the wrath of God. Many considered it a myth, until satellite images in the 1990s revealed an ancient trade route in the Rub al-Khali, the empty quarter. There, archaeologists found ruins near a site called Ubar, an outpost that might have been the legendary Iram. Imagine being a nomad, traveling through endless dunes, only to stumble upon stone columns buried in the sand, remnants of a civilization lost to arrogance and time. Was Iram real, a moral fable, or both? Whatever the case, its legend has endured for over 1,000 years, and the desert still isn't done keeping secrets. The city of the Caesars, a Patagonian enigma. Far from the heat of the desert, deep in the cold southern Andes, lies another legend, the city of the Caesars. A South American El Dorado, said to be filled with riches, located somewhere in the wilderness between Chile and Argentina. It was allegedly founded by survivors of Spanish shipwrecks, Incan warriors, or Jesuit priests, depending on which version you hear. For centuries, adventurers searched the mountains for it. Some claimed to have seen golden towers shimmering in the mist. Others never returned. It's kind of like when you're sure you remember putting your phone down right there, and then it's just gone. Only instead of a phone, it's a city, and instead of your couch, it's 100,000 square miles of uncharted wilderness. To this day, no one has found definitive evidence of the city of the Caesars. But some historians believe the myth may be based on real lost settlements, forgotten by both mapmakers and time. The disappearance of Cahokia. Last but not least, let's head to North America. Yes, the United States, where a lost city once stood that was larger than London in its day. Welcome to Cahokia, a massive Native American city near present-day St. Louis, Missouri. At its peak around 1100 AD, Cahokia boasted 20,000 residents, grand ceremonial mounds, and complex urban planning. And then, by the 14th century, it was gone. No invasion, no grand disaster, just decline. A mystery. It's like hosting the biggest party your town has ever seen. And then a few years later, the dance floor is empty and no one remembers why. Scholars still debate the cause: climate change, resource depletion, internal conflict. But here's the kicker. Most Americans have never even heard of Cahokia. It's a lost city hidden in plain sight. So what do these lost cities teach us? That nothing, no matter how powerful or grand, is immune to time. That history isn't just found in textbooks. It's buried in jungles, deserts, oceans, and even under suburban America. And perhaps most importantly, that the world is still full of mysteries waiting to be uncovered. So the next time you walk through an ancient ruin, or even just your own backyard, ask yourself, what stories lie beneath your feet? If you enjoyed this journey, hit that like button, subscribe for more hidden histories, and let us know in the comments, which of these lost cities fascinated you the most? Until next time, keep digging.